I used to think love was simple, that it came in the form of warm meals, bedtime stories, and arms that held you close when nightmares crawled into your dreams. That's how Evelyn loved me. She was there for every scraped knee, every first day of school, every broken heart. She wasn't my mother, but for 24 years I believed she was the next best thing. I'm Isabel, and everything I thought I knew about my life shattered on a rainy afternoon last fall. I was going through some of Evelyn's old boxes in the attic, trying to find photo albums for a surprise birthday video. It was something small, something sweet. But what I found instead was a sealed envelope marked with my mother's name, Anna Whitmore. My real mother. I froze. I had been told Anna died in a car crash when I was just a baby. Evelyn said it was sudden, tragic, that she had taken me in because we had no one else. But inside that envelope were photos, dozens of them. Pictures of Anna smiling, laughing, with me in her arms. Some of them dated months after the accident Evelyn claimed had killed her. And then there was the letter. It was written in shaky handwriting and unfinished, as if the writer had been interrupted. The words were haunting. If anything happens to me, know that I didn't leave you by choice. Someone wants me gone. Someone I trusted. I wanted to believe it wasn't real, that it was some kind of misunderstanding. But deep inside something cracked. A memory long buried. Anna's scent, her voice. It wasn't gone. It had just been buried under years of someone else's version of the truth. I confronted Evelyn that night. Her face went pale. She didn't deny it. She didn't cry. She just looked at me and whispered, "I did what I had to do. To protect you. To protect us." What did that mean? Who was she protecting me from? In the midst of all this unraveling, one person kept me grounded: Liam. He was Evelyn's godson, the boy who had been like a brother to me, and now something more. Our closeness had always tiptoed on the edge of something forbidden. But now, with everything falling apart, he became my anchor. Late one night, after I broke down in his arms, he whispered, "We'll find the truth together. Whatever it is, I won't let you face it alone." And I believed him. But what neither of us knew was how far Evelyn had gone to keep the past buried, or how dangerous the truth really was. I couldn't sleep that night. The attic, the letter, Evelyn's confession. They had ripped open a hole in the life I thought I understood. I kept hearing her voice in my head. I did what I had to do. But what exactly did that mean? Did she hurt my real mother? Liam stayed with me. He didn't ask questions, didn't push. He just sat beside me in silence, his fingers gently brushing mine as I clutched the letter on my lap. We had grown up like siblings, but somewhere in our early 20s something shifted. We stopped pretending we didn't notice each other. But neither of us ever crossed that unspoken line. Maybe because we were both too scared to risk what we already had. Now everything had changed. Evelyn wasn't who I thought she was. My past was a lie. And Liam? He was the only thing that still felt real. He finally broke the silence. "I think I remember your mom," he said quietly, as if the memory had just returned to him. I was only 6 or 7, but I remember her singing. She had this soft voice. She used to braid your hair while humming. My breath caught in my throat. "You never told me that." I didn't remember until now. I just always thought Evelyn was your only mother, like everyone else did. That memory, Anna braiding my hair, sparked something. A flash. Her fingers running gently through my curls, her perfume. I did remember. And now I couldn't stop wondering what else I had forgotten. Or what else had been taken from me. Evelyn avoided me the next day. No breakfast on the table. No good morning. Just silence. The house, once warm and familiar, now felt like a stranger's skin. Liam and I started digging. We went through Evelyn's office discreetly. In a locked drawer we found a small box. Inside were old tapes. Cassette recordings. I didn't even know she still had a player, but Liam found one in the garage. We played the first tape. Static. Then a voice. It was Anna. "If anyone finds this, please tell my daughter I love her. I don't know how much time I have left. Evelyn, she's not who you think she is. She wasn't always like this. But she's changed. And she's watching me." I couldn't breathe. Liam looked at me, eyes wide, mouth slightly parted. "We need to find the rest," he whispered. "This changes everything." But just then we heard it, footsteps. Coming down the hallway. Slow. Deliberate. We scrambled to hide the tapes, heartbeats racing in sync. The door creaked open, and Evelyn stood there, smiling. Evelyn stood in the doorway, her face half in shadow, the corners of her mouth curled in that calm, unsettling smile. "Looking for something?" she asked softly, as if she didn't already know the answer. Liam and I sat frozen, the cassette player still humming faintly beside us. I could feel my pulse pounding in my ears. "No," I managed to say, my voice low. "Just cleaning." Evelyn's eyes lingered on me too long. She didn't believe me, not for a second. But she didn't push. She simply stepped back into the hall and shut the door, leaving behind a silence that felt louder than any scream. The rest of the day passed in tense silence. Liam stayed close. He barely spoke, but his protectiveness wrapped around me like armor. We didn't touch the tapes again, not yet. We needed a plan. And fast. But something else had started to weigh on me. Not just the mystery of my mother's disappearance, but Evelyn's obsession. Why raise me at all? Why pretend to love me like a daughter if she was the reason my real mother vanished? The next morning I got my answer in the most unexpected way. I received an anonymous message. No number. No name. Just a photo. An old one. My mother, Anna, standing in front of a courthouse. And beside her, a man I had never seen before. Behind them was a name carved in stone. Whitmore versus Harlow custody hearing. I showed the photo to Liam, who stared at it, confused. Harlow, that's Evelyn's last name. I felt my knees weaken. She tried to take me from my mother legally? He nodded slowly. And maybe when the courts didn't give her custody, she took you anyway. I couldn't speak. I ran to the attic again, searching desperately for anything I might have missed. Buried under a box of holiday decorations, I found an old binder. Inside were legal papers, custody filings, psychological evaluations, and something that made my heart stop, a restraining order. Filed by Anna. Against Evelyn. Suddenly it all clicked. Evelyn hadn't just taken me in out of love. She had been obsessed. Possessive. She had wanted me to be hers so badly. She erased the woman who stood in her way. That night I sat with Liam on the porch, staring at the stars. My heart was breaking, but in the middle of that heartbreak there was something else, him. He wasn't just my anchor anymore. He was the only person I could trust. "I don't think I can stay in that house much longer," I whispered. He nodded. "Then you won't. Come with me. But if we leave, she'll know. She'll come after us." Liam looked straight into my eyes, his voice firm. "Let her. We'll be ready." I thought leaving the house would bring relief. I thought putting distance between Evelyn and me would help me breathe. But it didn't. It only made her more dangerous. Liam and I packed in secret. 1 duffel bag each. We planned to leave just before sunrise. The tapes were in my bag, along with the photo of my mother and the court documents. Every piece of truth I had clung to like broken glass. We didn't say goodbye. We couldn't. But just as we slipped out the back door, the porch light snapped on. Evelyn was waiting. She stood barefoot in her nightgown, arms folded tightly across her chest, a look on her face I'd never seen before, somewhere between heartbreak and fury. Her voice shook when she spoke. "You're really leaving me?" I froze. She stepped forward slowly, her eyes locked on mine. "After everything I did for you, Isabel, after all the birthdays, the fevers, the nightmares, I was the one who stayed." Liam stepped between us. "You don't get to guilt her. Not anymore." But she didn't even look at him. "You want the truth," she said. "Fine. Your mother was going to leave the country. She was going to take you somewhere I'd never see you again. I tried everything to stop her. I begged her. But she wouldn't listen." "What did you do to her?" I asked, my voice cracking. Her lips trembled. "I didn't kill her, Isabel. I swear I didn't. But I found her. The night she disappeared. She had collapsed. Pills. Alcohol. She left a note. I panicked. I didn't call for help. I didn't think. I took you. I thought I was saving you." My body went numb. "She could have survived," I whispered. Evelyn's eyes filled with tears. "Maybe. But I was afraid of losing you. I felt like I was falling." Liam grabbed my hand, grounding me, but I couldn't look away from her. The woman I had called Mom for 24 years was now confessing to the unthinkable. Not murder, but something worse. A choice. She had let my mother die to keep me. And yet a part of me still saw the woman who had kissed my scraped knees, who held me when I was sick, who braided my hair. And I hated that part of myself. I loved you, she whispered. But it wasn't real, I said. You stole my life. That's when we heard it. A click behind us. The sound of a car door slamming. We turned. A woman stood by the gate. Thin. Pale. Eyes wide and shining in the rising sun. It was her. It was Anna. Alive. Anna was alive. The woman I had grieved for, dreamed of, cried over for more than 2 decades was standing 10 feet away. And she was looking at me like I was a ghost. My knees nearly gave out. Liam caught me, but I could barely breathe. I didn't know what to say. What to feel. Anna stepped forward slowly, cautiously, as if she wasn't sure I was real either. Isabel, she whispered. Her voice hit me like lightning. I dropped the duffel bag and ran to her. We collided in an embrace I didn't know I had been waiting my entire life for. She smelled like lavender. She was warm, real, alive, and crying. Behind us, Evelyn didn't move. Anna pulled away slightly, cupping my face. I've looked for you for so long. I didn't know if you were alive, or if she had taken you somewhere I'd never find you again. She told me you were dead, I said, my voice shaking. She said you overdosed. I didn't, she said, her voice firm now. I was drugged. Everything in me froze. I never drank, never used pills. But that night, I passed out. When I woke up in the hospital, you were gone. I tried going to the police, but Evelyn claimed I had abandoned you. And she had connections, money, influence. No one believed me. The court sealed the case. I lost everything. I turned to Evelyn. She didn't deny it. She looked resigned. I did what I had to do, she said again. You were mine. She didn't deserve you. That's when Anna said something I never expected. She wasn't working alone. Everyone turned to her. Anna's eyes darkened. She didn't have the power to fake reports and seal court documents on her own. Someone helped her. Someone inside the system. Someone close to me. Liam narrowed his eyes. Who? Anna hesitated. Your father. My heart dropped. My father. I asked, barely above a whisper. But he died before I was born. Anna shook her head slowly. That's what I told you. What I had to believe. But he didn't die. He disappeared. Around the same time Evelyn took you. I always suspected it wasn't a coincidence. He and Evelyn were involved. Before you were born. I think he helped her do this to us. And then he vanished too. A silence fell over us like a storm cloud. Liam stepped forward, his jaw tight. You think he's still alive? Anna nodded. And if he is, he may be the one person who knows exactly what Evelyn's endgame really was. And suddenly, I realized this nightmare wasn't over. It was just beginning. For days, I couldn't sleep. Anna stayed with Liam and me in a small motel outside town. The tapes, the photo, the court records, they all pointed to one thing. Evelyn wasn't the only one who had taken my life. My father, the man I thought had died before I was born, had played a role too. Maybe even orchestrated it. Liam used every contact he had to dig. It didn't take long. My father was alive. New name. New life. And not far away, just 2 towns over, running a private legal consultancy. A man who knew the system. Because he once used it to bury the truth. We drove there. The office was quiet. Clean. Professional. He walked out with graying hair and calm eyes, wearing a tailored suit and the kind of expression people trust. Until he saw me. His face dropped. And then he smiled. Isabel, he said softly. You look just like your mother. Anna stood beside me, shaking. You helped her take our daughter. He didn't deny it. She was going to leave the country, Anna, he said almost gently. I couldn't let her take Isabel away from me. Evelyn. She had always loved the girl. I knew she would raise her well. You let my mother believe I was dead, I said, voice trembling. You made me live a lie. His expression didn't change. I gave you a better life than you would have had with us. That's when I snapped. I pulled the photo from my coat, slamming it on his desk. You didn't do this out of love. You did it out of control. You destroyed 2 women's lives and erased mine. He looked at the photo and said nothing. But Anna had had enough. We're going to the authorities, she said. This time with the truth. That's when he made his final move. He leaned back, smiled coldly and said, then be prepared to lose again. Evelyn's already gone. My heart dropped. What? She left the country this morning. Disappeared. She knew this was coming. Everything went silent. Evelyn was gone. And with her, any legal accountability. She'd stolen my life, and now she was going to live freely, somewhere no one could reach her. Tears streamed down my face, not because she escaped, but because I realized something even deeper. I would never get closure from her. No apology. No justice. But then Liam took my hand, and Anna stepped forward, her voice calm but firm. You can still choose who you are now. No one else gets to rewrite your story anymore. That was the moment it changed. I wasn't her victim anymore. Evelyn vanished without a trace. No note. No goodbye. No punishment. For weeks, the silence felt like a weight on my chest. I kept asking myself the same questions. Why did she do it? Did she ever really love me? Was I just a piece of her lie, or something more? But slowly, the answers began to matter less. Anna and I started rebuilding, one conversation at a time. We spent hours going through old photos and letters she had kept. Things she never stopped holding on to. Even when the world told her I was gone. She showed me the life I never had, and I shared the girl I had been without her. There were awkward moments. Painful ones. But every time she looked at me, I saw the same thing: love. Real love. The kind that doesn't manipulate or trap or steal. The kind that just wants you to be free. Liam stood by me through it all. He never rushed me to heal, never told me how I should feel. He just listened. Held my hand. Held me. We spent late nights talking about our future, not about what was stolen but what we could still build. One morning just before dawn, a letter arrived at our door. There was no return address. But the handwriting was unmistakable. Evelyn. Inside was a single page. I know I can't fix what I've done. I don't expect forgiveness. But I wanted you to know. I never faked your mother's death. I believed she was gone. And when I found out she wasn't, I couldn't face either of you. I was a coward. I'm sorry. There was no ending, no address, no way to write back. But somehow that letter closed a door I didn't know was still open. I cried. Not because I missed her, but because I finally felt ready to let her go. Months passed. I took Anna to the beach, the one I used to dream of as a child. She stood with her toes in the water, watching the waves, and whispered, "This feels like coming home." Liam proposed to me right there. I said yes. We weren't running anymore. We were living. And that's what this story was always about. Not revenge or secrets or even justice. It was about finding your truth. And choosing love, even after it's been broken. Because family isn't who raises you. It's who stands by you when everything falls apart.